What's up, everyone? It's Hey John. I jabber opportunities nonstop, and today, right now, I have breaking news for you. Mr. Warren Buffett himself has literally thrown Bitcoin under the bus. I open my portfolio in crypto, I see everything red, I see the heat maps, everything's red, and I decide to go for a Slurpee, a cherry Slurpee. And let me say, folks, it is disappointing. Just like my cryptocurrency portfolio right now, just disappointing. And I believe that Mr. Warren Buffett is the reason and the culprit for this. Now let me go ahead and explain to you guys why. Warren Buffett gives his most expansive explanation for why he does not believe in Bitcoin. Fantastic. Warren Buffett says in a Berkshire Hathaway annual shareholder meeting Saturday that it's not a productive asset and it doesn't produce anything tangible, despite a shift in public perception about the cryptocurrency. Buffett still wouldn't buy it. Whether it goes up or down in the next 5 or 10 years, I don't know, but I still will not buy it. Even Bitcoin enthusiasts tend to regard the cryptocurrency as a passive asset that investors buy and hodl and hope to see increase in price over a long period. Buffett himself commented that there's nobody that's short on Bitcoin. Everyone is a long-term holder. Well, folks, Buffett is coming out and literally throwing Bitcoin under the bus. He's saying it is useless. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? The US economy, the US dollar, it's not backed by gold. It's not backed by anything. It's literally backed by magic and faith. Yes, the faith, the hope that you, the US consumer, does not go to the bank and try to pull off all your money in cash, because if you did, I promise you, it would not happen, because there is not enough physical money printed in circulation where if everyone decided to go there today and pull it all out, it would be physically impossible, because there's literally not enough cash circulated. Right now, we are literally in a quote-unquote digital currency. But the only thing is that the big banks, they hodl all our money in a computer screen in their backend databases with our names and a few zeros attached to it. Now, with Bitcoin, I agree. It produces no tangible asset. I agree with that. That's very fair. It's very true. But what Bitcoin has is that it can only produce a finite amount of Bitcoin at a fixed period of time. So that means that it's predictable, yet it's quote unquote inflationary. But let's be honest, folks, you produce so few Bitcoins. Is it really considered inflation? Yes, it is, because you're creating more and there's no deflationary measure. So yes, it is. But in reality, there's so few of it being created. It's like, okay, folks, I get it if we're being technical. If you said for a 1% interest in all farmland in the United States, pay our group $25 billion, I'll write you a check this afternoon. For $25 billion, I now own 1% of the farmland. If you offer me 1% of all the apartment houses in the country and you want another $25 billion, I'll write you a check. It's very simple. Now, if you told me you own all the Bitcoin in the world and you offered it to me for $25, I wouldn't take it, because what would I do with it? I'd have to sell it back to you one way or another. It isn't going to do anything. The apartments are going to produce rent and the farms are going to produce food. What Warren Buffett said here is very true and very relevant. But you have to remember, folks, the dollar has lost all of its value ever since President Nixon took us off the gold standard. Ever since then, it's only been backed up by faith and it's being pushed down every single year. If you look on a dollar chart and the value, you will see that from the time Nixon went off the gold standard to right now, the dollar has lost 90% of its value. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if that is not what you call a rug pull in cryptocurrency or a scam, I don't know what is. Because the US military is one of the strongest in the world, and there's a reason why we spend over 50% of our GDP every year on defense. It is to stay top dog so you can set the rules and do what you want to do. Now, as Bitcoin, it cannot be manipulated in a sense where you can just print more if you want to. Now, if you want to manipulate it by buying a heap load of it and putting it into cold storage, and then letting the supply in the market dwindle, and then people want to buy it up, then boom, you can see a fast move up. But what Bitcoin has over the US dollar is that it cannot be manipulated and it cannot be hacked as of this moment. But as you know, in the future, when we get super duper duper computers, which are quantum mechanic computing, yeah, they may be able to break your 15-word password or 12-word password, depending on what wallet you use. But as of right now, it's very secure. Now, we're seeing other countries in the world like El Salvador, they are starting to adopt Bitcoin. And well, folks, imagine being able to trade your Bitcoins across the country, across the world, and paying a very tiny fee. If you do it right now, you have to go through a bank in America, a bank through a third-party country, and then a bank over to El Salvador. You are paying so many transaction fees. The money you send over, it's like, oh my God, I get nothing. Say, for example, you want to send some money from America to someone in South America. I've seen the fees. You pay $50 to $70 just to transfer money. So yes, I do understand that Bitcoin has no real utility in a sense where it builds you something or it creates you something. But what's better than stability and what's better than predictability? So this is the reason why Bitcoin is currently going down. And Warren Buffett even goes on to say, Bitcoin is rat poison, doubled and squared. Ladies and gentlemen, that is very powerful words from a man who is considered an investing legend. And as you know, right now, Bitcoin is going into the mainstream and people are starting to say, hey, you know what? I want Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in my 401k. So to me, this is the old guard defending themselves against the new guard being cryptocurrency and DeFi, etc. So with that being said, if you look at everyone's perspective in terms of what they have to gain, what they have to lose, well, Warren Buffett has a lot to lose if we go off the US dollar standard and into a Bitcoin standard. So of course he's going to come out and guns blazing. If you found any of this information useful, please go ahead and support the channel by liking, sharing, and subscribing. And most importantly, have an awesome day, and I will catch you all on the next one. Slurpee out.